The sun hadn't even peeked over the horizon when the roar of concrete trucks jolted me awake at 4:30 a.m. in our quiet Oak Ridge Hills neighborhood, nestled in the rolling hills of Oregon. It was August 12th, 2024, and I stumbled out of bed, heart pounding, to find my late wife Emily's cherished stream, our sacred place, being buried under a river of gray sludge. Standing there, clipboard in hand, was Vanessa Caldwell, the HOA president, her designer stilettos sinking into the mud as she barked orders like a general overseeing a siege. "It's for property values," she said with a smirk, as if that excused shattering the last piece of my world. "I'm Michael Harper, a 62-year-old retired Mason, widowed 3 years ago when Emily lost her battle with leukemia. That stream wasn't just water, it was where Emily and I spent her final days, where I'd built her a stone bench to watch dragonflies skim the surface. Nature always carves its own path, love," she'd whisper, tossing stones to watch ripples dance. That morning, as Vanessa's crew desecrated our sanctuary, I realized this wasn't just HOA nonsense, it was war. And they'd picked the wrong guy to mess with. Let me paint the picture. For 3 years, I'd lived quietly in our modest home at 47 Willow Lane, trying to piece together a life without Emily. The stream behind our house was my refuge, a place where I could still feel her presence. I'd sit there with my coffee, watching the water bubble, convincing myself retirement wasn't so bad. But that morning, everything changed. Vanessa stepped out of her gleaming silver Lexus, armed with a clipboard and a fake smile that screamed trouble. Flanked by a survey team with fancy gear and official-looking papers, she looked like she was ready to bulldoze my life. "Mr. Harper," she called, her voice dripping with condescension. "I'm Vanessa Caldwell, president of the Oak Ridge Hills HOA. We need to discuss this stream situation now." I'd lived here for over 2 decades, and the HOA had never been more than a nuisance fussing over fence heights or holiday lights. But this was different. Vanessa claimed the stream was a $60,000 liability risk, breeding mosquitoes and endangering kids. "It violates HOA Rule 52.4C on natural water features," she said, waving her clipboard like a scepter. "It's dragging down everyone's property values." As a mason, I'd worked with drainage systems for 40 years. I knew she was full of it. That stream was older than our neighborhood, a natural artery that kept our area from flooding during storms. Mess with it, and you'd have a disaster. But Vanessa didn't care about facts. She handed me a violation notice demanding I fix the stream within 30 days or face $250 daily fines. When I asked for the engineering report backing her claims, she just flashed that smile and said, "Mr. Harper, I don't need to justify HOA decisions to you. Our experts know better." That night, I called the police, a lawyer, and the county environmental office. The cop was kind, but useless. HOA disputes were civil matters. The lawyer wanted $12,000 upfront for a case I'd likely lose. The county said environmental reviews took 60 days minimum, and Vanessa's clock was ticking. I felt trapped, like a man watching his home burn with no way to stop it. But then, sitting on Emily's bench, I remembered her old activism files. Emily wasn't just my wife, she was a warrior who'd stopped a strip mall project a decade ago. During her chemo, she'd poured her heart into researching environmental laws, teaching me about protected waterways. Digging through her files, I found something chilling. A dossier on Victor Langston, a developer with a trail of environmental crimes. Emily had circled his name in red, noting his use of shell companies and crooked officials to destroy wetlands. A handwritten note from 6 months before her diagnosis read, "Victor targets activists' families for revenge. Must warn others." My blood ran cold. This wasn't random. Vanessa was Victor's pawn, targeting our stream to punish Emily's legacy. The next morning, the trucks returned, and Vanessa stood there, smug as ever, as they poured concrete over my memories. I tried reasoning with her. "Vanessa, this stream prevents flooding. Where's the water supposed to go?" She brushed me off, claiming professional engineers had it covered, but refused to show me any reports. The permits looked legit, city stamps, proper letterhead, but I noticed they'd been filed at 11:59 p.m. and approved at 12:15 a.m. Since when do city offices work midnight shifts? That's when Lucas Bennett, my 29-year-old neighbor, stepped in. A laid-off journalist scraping by on freelance gigs, Lucas had $7,000 worth of camera gear and a nose for a story. "Michael, this stinks," he whispered, filming Vanessa's crew. "Mind if I document this?" I nodded, grateful someone else saw the insanity. Vanessa spotted his camera and went ballistic. "Stop filming. This is private HOA business." Lucas held his ground. "I'm on public property, ma'am. First Amendment." She called 911, claiming harassment, but the officer shut her down. Filming was legal. As the concrete buried Emily's bench, I overheard a worker mutter. "Boss said ignore any EPA markers." EPA markers? Emily's files mentioned federal protections. This was bigger than I thought. The fallout was immediate and brutal. The first rain turned my yard into a swamp. Vanessa's $1.5 million mansion, sitting lower than mine, became a muddy mess. Her marble foyer flooded. Her $90,000 Audi stuck axle deep in sludge. Neighbors faced similar nightmares. Mrs. Larson's basement flooded, ruining her $20,000 rec room. Mr. Delgado found cracks in his foundation. Within weeks, 5 houses went up for sale. Nobody wanted a home that flooded every storm. Vanessa's property value's dream was a disaster, and Lucas was capturing it all, his cameras rolling as real estate agents dodged questions about drainage issues. Lucas and I dug into Emily's files and found Victor's plan, a 250-unit condo complex requiring our stream's destruction. The concrete wasn't just about liability, it was meant to make our neighborhood unlivable, forcing sales to Victor's shell companies. Late one night, I got a chilling text from a burner number. "Stop digging into Victor Langston, or you'll lose more than your stream." Lucas reported a black SUV outside his apartment, and I noticed hang-up calls at odd hours. We were onto something huge and someone was watching. Lucas timed his next move perfectly, releasing a video series during National Green Week, when environmental issues were trending. His footage of Vanessa's flooded mansion and the stream's destruction hit 250,000 views in 48 hours. Hashtags like Stream Scandal and HOA Villain exploded. A social media influencer with 600,000 followers shared a clip calling Vanessa Swamp Lady. Then came her TV interview a disaster. Asked about her environmental expertise, she stammered, "I'm experienced in environmental matters." The clip went viral, memed as Swamp Lady's Environmental Matters. Vanessa became a global laughingstock, a symbol of clueless authority. Meanwhile, an EPA agent named Clara investigating our case dropped a bombshell. Our stream was part of a federally protected watershed under the Clean Water Act. Victor's team had missed this, thinking local permits were enough. Clara warned me, "Be careful, Michael. Someone's been watching your house for days. This involves powerful people." Emily's research had sparked federal interest in Victor a decade ago, and now he was targeting me to silence her legacy. The EPA issued a cease and desist order, citing $60,000 daily fines for Clean Water Act violations. Victor and Vanessa faced charges of conspiracy, habitat destruction, and obstruction. Victor showed up at my house in a convoy of SUVs, a slick 55-year-old in a tailored suit, offering $120,000 to relocate. I held up Emily's files and the EPA's findings. "You picked the wrong family, Victor. Your empire's done." Lucas filmed from his window, capturing every word. Hours later, the EPA's order shut down the project, and federal prosecutors launched a criminal probe. Victor's world unraveled. His wife filed for divorce, citing his crimes. Partners fled. His country club expelled him. Vanessa's downfall was Messier. A search of her computer revealed a Emily Project folder showing years of surveillance on Emily's activism and my life. She'd been Victor's desperate pawn, drowning in debt from her failing boutique, taking a $250,000 commission to destroy our stream. The neighborhood fought back. Mrs. Larson's petition ousted Vanessa as HOA president, and Mr. Delgado led a class action lawsuit. At a heated HOA meeting, Vanessa arrived with hired security, but 200 residents ignored her, electing Mrs. Larson as interim president. Lucas's live stream of her meltdown drew 18,000 viewers. Then, at 2 a.m., a drunken Vanessa pounded on my door, ranting about environmental terrorism and lunging for Lucas's camera. His backup system broadcast her breakdown to 25,000 people, cementing her as Swamp Lady. Federal marshals arrested her the next morning for Clean Water Act violations and conspiracy. Victor was nabbed quietly at his office, facing racketeering and bribery charges. Our community threw a stream victory block party with music, food, and educational booths. The EPA named the restored stream the Emily Harper Memorial Wetland, with $2.5 million for restoration. Dragonflies and ducks returned within weeks, nature reclaiming its place. Lucas's videos became educational tools, and he landed a job with a national environmental nonprofit. The Emily Harper Foundation, funded by online donations, supported grassroots activism. Our case sparked 200-plus prosecutions across 37 states, setting a legal precedent for environmental justice. Sitting on Emily's restored bench, watching kids learn about ecosystems, I feel her spirit. We didn't just save our stream, we showed ordinary people can topple corporate giants. Nature always carves its path, and we proved it. So what do you think? Was Vanessa a victim of her own desperation or a willing villain? Should HOAs have the power to destroy natural landmarks? And how far would you go to protect a place you love? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you cheered for justice, and subscribe for more stories of everyday heroes taking on the powerful.